Alright, so this is our statistics project. Our question was, how many times have you fallen asleep in class this year? We surveyed 56 students, and what we got was the average amount of students had fallen asleep about two to three times this year. The median and mode, however, were 0, as most students had never fallen asleep in class before. This is a histogram comparing upperclassmen versus underclassmen on how many times they had fallen asleep in class this year. Upperclassmen tended to fall asleep on average more, and underclassmen tended to have more results where they had never fallen asleep in class before. Our standard deviation was 5.6. Our data was skewed heavily to the left because of the amount of people that had never fallen asleep in class before. This is our box and whisker plot. The minimum is 0 and the maximum is 25. Once again, it's skewed to the right because of the sheer amount of people that answered that they had never fallen asleep in class before. Our margin of error was 95%, which means that 80% of the time our sample data will not vary from the actual population by more than 95%. There could be an error in our data, as a lot of people did not know the exact amount of times that they had fallen asleep in class and gave random numbers or answers like countless or too many to count or I don't know. A basic probability problem is calculating how many students had fallen asleep twice in class this year. What was the probability of finding a student like that? And what we got was 14% chance that a student has fallen asleep twice in class this year by using the data that we had already collected. Our standard deviation problem was calculating outliers. So our standard deviation, 5.56, multiplied by 3 was 16.68. And when you added that to the mean, you got that our outliers would have been 20, 23, and 25, our highest results, as most students tended to stay below 5 or between 5 and 10. 5 facts are: most people have never fallen asleep in class this year. More upperclassmen than underclassmen have fallen asleep, and it's more common among boys than girls. The senior girls have fallen asleep in class the least, and most of our data was within one standard deviation of the mean. So what we thought when we started this was the average student has fallen asleep 3 times in class this year. Our data was pretty close. Our mean was 2.8, so the amount of people that answered 0 slightly threw off our conjecture. And that's it.